Krishna Gopeshvara by Sanjay Dixit, published by Bloomsbury. We wish Sri Sanjay Dixit all the very best for his first book on Sri Krishna.
How the idea came about, where he intends to take the book, what he intends to deliver.
Thanks, Sandeep. This book came about because I have always been intrigued by the personality of Krishna. Ram and Krishna are the two avatars, those who are supposed to have come down, leaving their abodes for the mankind. But the character of Ram, as it is delineated, is a very linear character, a character which upholds the everyday values, the family values. He is basically the person who upholds the law, and he is regarded as an avatar. And on the other hand, you have the other Supreme Personality who breaks almost every law, and yet he is regarded even higher in many traditions. In fact, I would say in more traditions he is regarded higher than Rama. So that was something very surprising to me, and I started looking at this narrative from a layman's point of view, not from a point of view of a scholar. Because as far as the scholarly expositions are concerned, I don't think I can hold a candle to most of them. So I started to look at it from the point of view of a lay person, a lay Indian, who likes the plurality of culture, who likes the way you have the liberty and you have the freedom to reimagine and to repaint the cultural narratives and even the spiritual narratives of your country. And then I looked at the three aspects of Krishna. The first one starts prior to his birth. In fact, starts with the imprisonment of his father and mother. Probably even prior to that, it basically starts with the imprisonment of Ugrasen. And then it continues till the death of, or you can call it slaying of Kansa. That is the time after he leaves Vrindavan. That Gopeshwar period is the one which is rooted in Vrindavan. And after he leaves Vrindavan and Kansa is slain, then the other chapter begins. And that is the one that is the last shloka of Bhagavad Gita. Yatra Yogeshvara Krishna, Yatra Partho Dharodhara. So that is the other aspect to look at. I was also intrigued by the fact that in the Indian traditions there are only two Supreme Personalities who have been given these titles. The first one is Shiva, the Adi Yogi, and the only other person who has been given this title is Krishna. He has been given the title of Yogeshvara. So that period lasts till about the end of Mahabharata. And after Mahabharata, there is another phase, which is the longest phase in the life of Krishna. That phase is a phase of stability, of decline in his own clan, the civil wars, and it culminates with what we know as a Uddhava Gita, and many traditions hold Uddhava Gita even more important than Bhagavad Gita. So this effort is basically a trilogy which spans these three dimensions of a very multi-dimensional and a very complex personality, which is it is not very easy to read for the lay person. It is said in our tradition that if you have to follow someone's character, please follow Rama's character. And if you follow somebody's teachings, please follow Krishna's teachings. As an ordinary person, don't ever try to follow Krishna's character. Because he is Yogeshwar, he is rooted in his higher consciousness. A lay person is not rooted in that consciousness. So if you try to copy his character from what you see him doing, from his kriya, without understanding his karma, then you will land up in big trouble.
Krishna is perhaps the most misunderstood as well as the most complex figure in the Indian tradition. Ram, as you said, as an ideal, always represents what is right and dharmic. There's a problem. We don't always have that choice. What Krishna represents is the best possible action at any given moment. Most of us would rather stand on the sidelines because we can't do what is ideal. But if we do that, then the negative forces are going to increase. So that is why Krishna is hard to understand, because he's acting on Dharma at every single moment, rather than just following an abstract ideal. And as being misunderstood, we tend to, by putting him as an avatar, to worship him, or create hagiography and devotion, rather than trying to understand him. Krishna is a master psychologist. He's a master diplomat. Again, he addresses everything at its own level, not only at the right time, but at the right place. You can't deal with a war as a sadhu. You can't run a kingdom as a renunciate. He shows how to do all of these things correctly at its right time and right place. Sometimes I've asked the question, why has Krishna dominated the image of India rather than Buddha? And I think that is because Krishna has played all the colors of the rainbow and related to all the people, not just the monastic renunciate approach. And what is interesting about Sanjay's book is he looks into these deeper aspects and questions of Lord Krishna, and he uncovers all of these deeper issues that have been kind of glossed over by simply trying to worship Krishna. So you can see Krishna anew, and you can see all the complexity not only of Krishna's life, but of our life, and how to deal with them from the best possible place and highest place of awareness, moment by moment.
Thanks for that. Actually, the root of the word Krishna, am I too loud?
Let me make a disclosure. Sandeep has done a detailed review of my first manuscript already.
It's been kind, very kind of you. But so, going back to what I wanted to say, the word Krishna is derived from the root Karsha. Karshayati Krishnaha, meaning that which attracts, that which draws you to it or him. So, given this backdrop, you conceive Krishna in any form. You take any aspect of his life, his deeds, his exploits. Is there a single facet that doesn't attract you? Be it as a master of war counsel, be it as this cute little child in Gokul and then later in Vrindavan, you name it, they are celebrated even today in Mathura, in Gokul. This is a character that is, I don't know if it's right to call it a character, but it's a different dimension with the analogy that I can give to Krishna is like an ocean, the water of an ocean. You can't fathom its depth. But when you keep digging into the ocean, what do you get? You get only more depth, more water. It is the infinity that Krishna represents at numerous levels from a child, and I don't think any single character other than Krishna that has impacted, influenced and elevated not only India, but it's captured the imagination of almost all countries that came into contact with India. And it is not just in one field, be it painting. Great confidence is that it surely be rewarding.
Thank you, Sandeep, and thank you for not revealing too much, especially about the swastik. Because just after I made the cover public, that's the only question I've been asked. Nobody's asked anything else about the book. So, Meenakshi, here is your marketing strategy. I think some part of Mahabharata was discussed yesterday in the first session. And the questions that were asked, they've all been answered by Krishna. Whether Draupadi's question or even Bhishma muttering about dharma ki gati sukshma, all these questions have been answered by Krishna. And though he holds Bhishma in very high regard for his personal accomplishments, he also holds him responsible for Mahabharata. Though he holds Yudhishthir in very high esteem for his righteousness, for the way he holds on to his dharma, he holds Yudhishthir also responsible for Mahabharata. Now, whether Mahabharata was good or bad or indifferent or whether it could have been avoided, these are questions that have been asked for a long time. But let this not be denied that Krishna was the one who tried for reconciliation. But if the reconciliation fails, then surrender is not an option. Then you have to fight it out, you have to fight the evil forces.
Absolutely. Just make an intervention here. The way I look at it is, you spoke of dharma ki sthiti and gati. If Bhagavad Gita is the sthiti of dharma, Kurukshetra and the entire Mahabharata is the gati of dharma, in all its complexities.
And I would like to make another point. The Gita is the most misunderstood book in India. And the Gita has also been the greatest inspiration to the Kshatriya. It is not a book simply of renunciation. It promotes the Kshatriya Dharma. The Sikhs were inspired by it. The Marathas were inspired by it. It teaches that ahimsa means we try to negotiate as much as possible, but we do not give in the end. If necessary to fight, we will, and we are ready, and we are prepared. The Gita's message is not to give up your weapons and not fight. It's to be prepared to fight if necessary. And I think one of the great tragedies of modern India is the Gita was not understood and embraced, and the proper Kshatriya Dharma wasn't created for the country and is only arising today.
I think we can have any questions if there are any.
So, Sonalji has something to say, so does Shefali. Why don't you come on stage actually? Come. Come.
I don't have a question. I'm just so happy that Dr. Frawley has actually said that the Gita is not a book of renunciation. It is a book that tells us to fight for Swadharma. I'm really, really happy. I'm tired of being told that Hinduism is all about ahimsa. It's about not fighting. It's about giving up. Thank you so much.
You might not, if you remember, whenever some dignitary used to die in the socialist 70s and 80s, they used to play verses from the Bhagavad Gita. It is not a book to mourn somebody's death.
Yeah. Talked about again Draupadi. Krishna didn't have answer to every question that Draupadi raised, according to my understanding. Maybe my understanding is not adequate, but then I don't think that anybody's understanding is complete. I'm sorry. Later, when Krishna tries for reconciliation, but what happens at the end? Nachame pataya santi. When Draupadi sarcastically only addresses Krishna in front of the 5 husbands and ताना लगाती है उसको, मेरा कोई बाप नहीं है, भाई नहीं है, बंधु बांधव नहीं है, कोई पति नहीं, कोई पुत्र नहीं, तुम भी मेरे नहीं कृष्ण अब, मधुसूदना. And that Krishna immediately promises that your insult will be avenged, there will be war. So I'm sorry, we should not diminish. We should not diminish Krishna's respect for women, Krishna's reason to declare war, because he did try for reconciliation. But what was the final nail on the head was Draupadi. And that is how the war was fought. So I'm saying that he may not have been able to answer all the questions raised by Draupadi. Nobody has answered them till today, as I said, and I hold on to it. But the point is, Akarshayati iti Krishna. One who
Karshayati iti Krishna.
Karshayati, Akarshayati, this, Karshayati खींचना, आकर्षण भी वही खींचना होता है ना, और क्या होता है? So, Krishna's akarshana is such that no question or no problem can escape him. That is my interpretation of Krishna's akarshana, not that so many gopis and so many women and even men were attracted. Even the problems were attracted to Krishna so that they could find solutions.
That's a wonderful explanation, Sonalji. However, this is only the first part.
We'll wait for your second, third and fourth.
The Draupadi incident will come in the second part, and I'm sure we'll meet to discuss that again.
By the way, we did talk about that Draupadi is the only woman who is not his wife, not his beloved, not his sister, not his daughter, not a gopi, but just a sakhi. And sakhi, sakhitva, buddy, what we call buddy, friend. That's only one woman, Draupadi. So she was also Krishna, the given name.
In many traditions, Radha is also treated as a sakhi.
Sorry?
Yeah, Draupadi is the feminine form of Krishna.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sanjay. All the best.
Sonal Mansingh, dancers, author and speaker. David Frawley, Vedic scholar and expert in Ayurveda, Jyotisha and Yoga. Arif Muhammad Khan, former Union Minister, Islamic scholar. Lieutenant General Ata Hussain, former GOC, 15 Corps, Srinagar. Sushant Sareen, security expert, senior fellow, VIF. Mohan Das Pai, educationist, former CFO of Infosys. Sanjay Dixit, IAS, writer and speaker. Tariq Fateh, author and speaker, Balochistan activist. Raghavan Jagannathan, editorial director, Swarajya magazine. Shefali Vaidya, columnist, social media expert. J. Nanda Kumar, national convener, Pragna Pravah. Sandeep Balakrishna, author of Tipu Sultan, Tyrant of Mysore, translator. Sankrantu Sanu, IT entrepreneur, Indic activist. Yusuf Unjawala, entrepreneur, defense expert. Alok Mehta, editor, Outlook. Dr. Manoj Dixit, VC, Awadh University. Sushil Pandit, Kashmiri activist. Abhijit Iyer Mitra, security expert. Professor Makhan Lal, historian, also with VIF. Sunil Sharma, chairman, Gyan Bihar University, Jaipur. J. Sai Deepak, lawyer and activist. Raghav Avasthi, lawyer and activist. To register, log on to www.jaipurdialogues.com.